This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. When you hydrate with Liquid IV, you're powered by Hydroscience. Hydroscience is Liquid IV's science-backed formula with an optimized ratio of electrolytes, vitamins, and nutrients. Experience great-tasting hydration for mental clarity, physical endurance, and overall well-being. Sip into something that up-levels every moment. Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Visit us at liquidiv.com.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to another installment of Sober is Dope. I'm your host, Pop Buchanan, and I'm extremely excited to be here with another installment of Sober is Dope. And happy Halloween. This is our Halloween episode. Today is October 31st, 2024. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This episode sets the stage for the rest of the year. We're in the fourth quarter of 2024. A lot of you are new to recovery. A lot of you out there are seasoned veterans. This is the period where we start to get ready for Thanksgiving. And right after Thanksgiving, 30 days, 31 days on a nail, it's going to be Christmas. And then we go one weekend, we crash landed into 2025. Then we got to deal with New Year's Eve and New Year's. These are critical times for multiple reasons. This is not the top reason is relapse. A lot of people tend to relapse during the holidays. So this is our pre-holiday prep episode before we do the really extensive 1 to 2 hour how to stay safe in the holiday episode. But this episode is to prep us for Sober New Year's. And the term Sober New Year's it's about how do we go into 2025 sober, and how do we last the whole 2025 sober? How do we frame the new year and the year past in sobriety? Okay, this is serious because I'm explaining why the holiday season is such a bad trigger. It's a mental health trigger. A lot of people have the issue during the holidays where they go through seasonal affective disorder, grief-based anxiety, stress, and depression, because it's usually a time where you miss your loved ones that's no longer with us, right? That's a trigger. Whether you may have went to a divorce and had to go through 20 or 30 years where you're accustomed to being with your significant other and the kids, and now you're estranged and by yourself, and you're practicing sobriety, and now you have this trigger of the holidays. I have one of my brothers, he has a friend that passed, and he always struggles during the holiday season. He goes into deep depression. There's nothing we could do. He tends to relapse sometime. And it's real serious. He's kind of like an extended brother. He's not a blood brother, but he's close to my heart. And it always makes me think. I have to call him on Thanksgiving and say, bro, where are you? We coming to get you, because like clockwork, he could be good the whole year, and come Thanksgiving Day, the guy is totally in severe depression, looking for some type of drugs or something to get him to numb him. So this is why the day after Thanksgiving, I like the day after Halloween, I love to prep us for the holiday season, because you can't start to do it the day before Thanksgiving or the day before Christmas. We have to do it now. And I'm not going to drop a bunch of episodes during the holiday. Every episode is going to be very specific on how do we go into 2025 with lasting sobriety. That's the first part of this episode. The second part of this episode is I'm really excited to share with the Sober is Dope community a sneak peek into the new book, Sober New Year's, right? And I'm going to do an unboxing for you guys before I do an official unboxing for Instagram. And I want to share this with you because right now the book is available for pre-order. And I want all my podcast listeners to be the first ones to get it. So by the time I start to promote it, I'm not going to promote the book the first week of November. I'm giving you guys from November 1st to about November 5th or 7th to go get the book, to pre-order it. So by the time I start running ads and showing people the book and doing all the online stuff, you can already say we have a copy. And this time I want everyone to take pictures of their book, send it in. And here's the deal. This is the deal. If you buy the Sober is Dope book, it gives you a ticket to come on the Sober is Dope podcast. You get to jump in front of the line. We have about 50 people waiting, and we have another 50 episodes we have to edit. And so if you have a copy of the new Sober New Year's book, hey, you just inbox me, Pop, I got the book. Here's my picture and stuff. And then we'll schedule an episode where you get to tell your story. In 2025, I want the podcast to be more interactive. I want it to be a lot of me, but also a lot of you. And I don't care. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have 100,000 followers. You can have 2 followers. If you're in recovery and you want to express yourself, you're welcome to come on the Sober is Dope podcast. I'm also interested in doing group episodes so we could get on a Zoom call, and I'll give like 5 to 6 people a link, and we'll all come on and we'll pick a topic and just talk about it. And this could give more exposure to recovery and make it more human. And we also want to start a segment of the podcast called Sober is Dope Family, where family members that deal with someone in addiction can come on and explain their perspective and their pain points as it relates to addiction in the family unit. All right. So with all of that said, at some point, we're going to do the reveal of the new book. And I'm so proud. Let me say a few things about the Sober is Dope, Sober New Year's book. Here's Sober is Dope, right? This is the Sober is Dope book. This is my baby. Sober New Year's is everything I couldn't say in here and everything I couldn't address, because this book was really foundational about the vital spiritual experience and bringing someone closer to the spiritual connection of a higher power that could help them transform their mind, as well as having a fleet of mindset tools that they can utilize to help transform the old brain and the old mind, right? This is a foundational book. This book needs a companion, right? And that's Sober New Year's. The thing about Sober New Year's, and that's going to be the topic, the title of this episode. So you're going to hear me bring it back again, because again, I want to frame this in a very safe way, because it's setting the tone for the holiday season so we can have a successful holiday season in recovery, right? And if you're a person that's in active addiction and you're trying to find that little out, like some inspiration, a morsel of inspiration, this book can help. This book will help you invoke a vital spiritual experience, because it has a bunch of prayers and it focuses on spirituality a lot. Also mindset, how to transform your mind from negative thought ruminations into positive thought reinforcements. Sober New Year's, however, answers a lot of the questions that many of us have. If you're in recovery, it answers questions like, how do I deal with relapse? How do I deal with the holidays? How do I deal with rejection? How do I deal with pain? How do I deal with trauma? It gives you over, I would say, 300 tools in the sense of perspective in recovery, like tips on how to navigate your sober journey and also how to navigate addiction while you're thinking about going into a sober lifestyle. Sober New Year's is the book that I wish I had. And I'm going to tell you this from the bottom of my heart, I believe, as Pop Buchanan, as the author of this book, from the bottom of my heart, listen to me closely. I believe that anyone who picks up this book that's in addiction or that's in recovery, that needs something that can help them get through the day, I believe by reading this book, when you're done, you'll become a different person. I believe you'll be better off after reading it with my whole heart. It takes me a while to put out these books because I wrote another book that I'm not going to publish, not because it's not good. It just was more self-serving to me on what I thought would be a good book versus what I know someone like me would need, right? And what we need is a big reminder, no matter what, why we decide to stay sober, why we were in active addiction, and why we're not going to go back to that darkness. We need reminders. This is a reminder for me. Right? Days when I'm having a bad day, I'm told I could be anything. I lose rent money in the stock market because the stock market is dumb. My girl breaks up with me, for example. I have a death one of my friends pass away. I lose a big contract. I have a fight with my business partner. Life is not going well. I catch a cold or I fall ill or something and I'm just not in a good mood. And then everything gets compounded and you start to go, you know what? Why am I doing all of this shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a good guy. I'm trying to do everything right. Life is kicking me in the butt. I'm going to go have a drink, right? Then, I see the Sober is Dope book and I go, man, I can't, man. I know what's in here and I know what went into it. And it brings me back to my why. And it centers me. Sober New Year's is going to be the perfect book to get the perfect reminder to get you through the year, because when the euphoria and the happiness and the hope and the motivation of the New Year's passes and we start approaching Thanksgiving and Memorial Day and this and that, and you start forgetting about your resolutions, this book is going to be a constant reminder because it's all based on your why. Why am I making this New Year's resolution to recommit to my recovery? Why am I making this New Year's resolution to change character defects in myself? Why am I looking to this New Year's resolution or towards New Year's to make a resolution to get clean and sober for good? Because my life is 100% unmanageable in my addiction. We get the something about New Year's, and the new year gives us a fresh start. And with the fresh start comes a lot of hope and motivation. But when the motivation wanes, what do? We have to have motivators to keep us grounded and keep us going. And that's what Sober is Dope is about. And that's what the book Sober New Year's is about. So listen, if you have the book Sober is Dope, please go out and get the book Sober New Year's. I don't write these books to get rich or anything. I write these books as extensions of the podcast and extensions of me, right? You hear me a lot. You know my thoughts. You know me. If you listen to Sober is Dope and you got to at least 100 episodes to 300, you know Pop Buchanan. You know me. You probably know too much about me, right? You know me. I could bump into you. You can say, Pop, how's mom? How's this? What's going on with that? You know me. Why? Because I don't hold anything back from you guys. Good, bad, or ugly. I share everything with my community because I love you guys. I love you because I understand you. I don't understand too many human beings or types of people on this planet. I understand large groups and subsets of people and what makes them ticks. I study a lot. Well, if you're a sociopath, I kind of understand why the brain works and how that works. And if you're an actor, I understand what type of brilliance it takes. But to go deep with a human being, to understand someone that has a propensity to be addicted, or someone who suffered from substance misuse or addiction, and that means all types of addiction: gambling, sex, food, anything, all types of addiction. But specific food addiction, sugar addiction, but specifically substance misuse, like drugs and alcohol, pills and whatever, illicit drugs. I get it. I understand you, man. As we speak the same language, we understand the same pain points. We're in this together. I get you. So it's important for me to produce content and things that could relate to you. And it's also important for me to produce literature that's an extension of me that you could go home with and say, let me absorb this. Let me take this in. Because I'm going to tell you something. Sober New Year's, the book, that's about 12 years of wisdom that I can't find in one place. I can't even find all of that in the big book. Nothing against the big book, but the big book is amazing and it's very specific. But if I needed a companion to the big book, it would be Sober New Year's, right? That's what I'm trying to say. What's that other companion, that 2025? How do I deal with relapse? How do I deal with this? How do I deal with fear of missing out? How do I avoid this? What happens if this happens? I need motivation. What does it look like? What are some tools that I could use to take me out, or get me out of a rut? Another thing, why I write these books and I focus on these type of like dense compendiums of tools and wisdoms, and my books, if you could imagine what a Pop Buchanan book, like imagine a tool, like do these things and it will help you. And the book is one gigantic 300-page or 150-page bullet point list. That's kind of the simplicity I approach to my books. I don't want to get deep with you guys. I mean, Sober is Dope was a little deep, but that wasn't me trying to be deep in the sense of, oh, I'm intelligent. Whoa, look at me. I had to write in a way, a scientific way for you to understand there's evidence backing my theory that we have to transform our minds and our spirits in order to transform our behaviors, right? And you could go from a negative mindset and a negative state of being into a positive mindset. It's a form of alchemy, right? Spiritual alchemy is where you could change who you are on the inside out, right? Sober is Dope episode 1, when I got on my knees and I prayed to God and I heard the voice, right? I heard a voice. That was enough to transform me inside out. And the person that you're seeing in front of you is a result of that miraculous experience that was unique to myself. Do you need to get on your knees, pray to God, and hear his voice to get sober? Absolutely not. Do you need God to get sober? Absolutely not. Do you need religion to get sober? Absolutely not. Will it help you on your journey to sobriety? Absolutely. Can a higher power and a spiritual base help you avoid relapse and have a longer lasting life of recovery? Absolutely, it can help. For me, being a spiritual person by nature, it was absolutely, my addiction was rooted in misguided spirituality and hubris and a God complex that I didn't deserve to have and that wasn't fair. Because my experience with the higher power was always a generous and beautiful giving one. And because I was a young kid that absorbed a lot of knowledge, I always was able to explain things that were deep to people. And I always seemed like I knew more. And that gave me somewhat of a God complex, to the point where I thought I was high and mighty and I was better than everybody and my shit didn't stink. And long story short, God had to humble me. Life had to humble me. And if the world didn't humble me, alcohol definitely did. Alcohol brought me down to such a dark, low place that I just understood that there's places that a human could go on this planet that's so dark and debased where I would never want to revisit that reality. And if that is a reality that someone could get through a bottle, and through an addiction and through a pill bottle, then we need to talk more about recovery and sobriety and what that looks like. Because if I had a panacea that could take away all your pain and addiction, if I had this magic pill, no pun intended, and trigger warning, I didn't mean to really say that like that to my people in the community that's dealing with substance misuse through pills. I apologize, but you get my drift. If I had like that kind of potion, that script from a doctor that could make all the pain go away, you know what it'll be called? Sobriety, abstinence. Because in sobriety, right? And that's sobriety to you. Like, let's say you're a person that deals with alcohol and you smoke weed once in a blue. I don't have a problem with you. I swear to God, I do not have a problem with you. Sober is Dope is not about you need to be sober from everything or you're a bad person. That's crazy. I'm talking about your drug of choice that brings you down to hell. The goal of sobriety is to get away from that. Let's get you away from that. Harm reduction is, hey, maybe you need to do something that's not as bad to keep you away from that. And that's something that's legit. My recommendation, however, is if you could abstain from all substance misuse and all mind-altering chemicals, you're most likely better off if you have a propensity to slip and go back into your drug of choice. So my advice is just try to stay sober, right? Before you try to get cute. Because I've seen a lot of people, and I'm not calling out no communities, nothing about California or nothing, but I just know a lot of people that I respect highly in these communities that try to do both and eventually relapse outright because it's just too thin of a line. But I know thousands of people in these communities, not saying California or nothing, that are successful with their harm reduction techniques. So all love to you. Sober is Dope is not here to judge, man. I'm a kid from Brooklyn, New York, New Yorkers keep it tall. We keep it real. And I'm not here to be high and mighty, boy. I done did so many terrible things. You know, I sound like Cat Williams. Sometimes I done did so many terrible things, but I did so many terrible things in my life that I can't talk shit to you guys. I got to just say, listen, I'm humble to be alive and I'm behaving because I'm a pain in the ass and I could really tear some shit up. So I have to behave. Me, I have to go sit down. My brother used to always say this: you got to go sit, man. Pop, I'll be so bad. They just have to make me sit down and have to have somebody watch me like this. He got to sit. I'm talking about not a kid, an adult, a grown ass man in my 20s with, yo, put the helmet on, Pop, and tell him to go sit down. You got to sit. I remember one time, you sometimes you could laugh at your addiction stories, that comes with deep healing, right? It wasn't funny 12 years ago, but now I can laugh at it. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. I remember one time, man, my older brother just got home from jail, right? He did 3 years in jail for a gun charge for a gun that wasn't even his, right? He thought that not snitching and being a good guy would be good. He protected a bunch of dirt bags, and this beautiful soul had to go through 3 years in state prison. And his life when he came home was always never the same. But all right, he comes home and, he paroles to my place, which is kind of like his place because he set me up with my real estate empire when I got out of college. And I ran it with him for him. And when he came home, I was like, well, I got all this money and stuff now. So here's a brownstone, right? But his friends they came in, and it was his friends, and we're drinking all of these bottles and stuff. They're drinking all this expensive liquor, trigger warning. And I wasn't accustomed to drinking like that. I was drinking like Sparks and beers and an occasional liquor, but I was drinking a lot. I'm a drinker. All this time I'm drinking from college, from my 20s, from 20 years old all the way till I stopped around 28, 29. Constant 19 years of just straight drinking. So they're doing jail push-ups. So we're doing a push-up contest. So I'm doing push-ups with these guys. So for every time we take a shot, we have to do 20 push-ups. Man, listen, trigger warning. By the time I got to like the fifth shot, I literally was walking in circles like this. Like I just was walking like a madman in circles. And I think I could have died. I don't know what happened, but it was like I went into this trance where I just was walking around the living room. And I remember my brother and them, they just caught him and his friends just captured me like as I was going. And when I got to like right here, they just grabbed me and guided me and walked me right into the room and just pushed me into the bed. And that was the biggest act of mercy I probably ever experienced in my life. Because I didn't know what was going on. I got stuck in this whirlwind where I think of the push-ups, the 20 push-up shot, 20 push-up shots, 20 push-up shot, 20 push-ups. My brain and everything, all that blood rushed through my head. And I just was like this. And I remember spinning, and I remember the mercy of just feeling these men just grabbing me and throwing me into the bed. And that's kind of the analogy of when I say that you have to go sit sometime, to sit your butt down and calm down. I had to go sit. That's why I behave to this day. That's not a horrible story, but it was scary because I got into a behavior loop that was unrecognizable to my soul. I didn't know what I was doing at that point, right? And when my brother would say things like, yo, we got to go sit, like he would say it in reference to jail. When he was about to go to jail for this crime he didn't do, he's a good guy. And people who go to jail are not bad guys, but he wasn't a creep and a piece of junk. He was just like, you got people who deserve to go to jail. You break the law, you do this terrible thing, you need to go sit. Then you got people who just innocent that get caught into a situation where it's just a bad day, buddy, and you're going to jail. And in New York State, they had this gun law where you get caught with a gun, you do 3 years flat. He didn't want to say it wasn't his gun because he was in a car with it. And because he just didn't fess up to it, he got railroaded into this larger charge and had to do 3 years. So this poor guy comes home, he's never the same, but he comes home sober. And that was kind of one of my first glimpses at what sobriety looked like, because he came home trying to be good. And what did we do as a family? We bought celebratory liquor and stuff. You could see he tried to behave. He had a shot. He started to change. Things wasn't quite the same after that. Haven't spoken to that brother in almost 15 years, so That's come so some of the sad breaks. I have a song called Little Punk where I apologize for all of the things I did in my addiction. And one of the lines in the song is for him, where I say, I lost my brother drinking on the phone. I forgot the shit I said. In my head, I was alone. He said, never call again. That brother was my clone, but a better one, a better son. I miss him. He's my homes. So wherever you are, Mr. Buchanan, I love you and you should come home soon, man. We all love you and we miss you. So sorry you had such a raw end of the deal. You know, I'm sorry life did things to you, but you're a good brother. And anytime you're ready to come home, I'm sober. I've been sober for 12 years. He told me never call him again unless I got sober. So you could imagine 12 years ago, when I first got sober on December 15th, 2012, the first person I tried to email was him. And I didn't think he got the email. So I was like, I'm sober, but never spoke to him again, man. And I don't know how to find him or anything. Anyway, that's enough about me. But as you can see, that's darkness related to addiction. So we have to learn how to go sit and behave. I give y'all these little anecdotes and stories because I want you to understand that I'm human like you and I'm not perfect, right? I never want to be up here on the high and mighty throne talking shit to you about what you need to do. And this is years of sacrifice, prayers, and studying, right? This is every single thing I had to do to stay sober in this book. I had to pray. I had to use affirmations. I had to meditate. I had to exercise. I had to eat healthy. I had to forgive. I had to clean my act up. I had to stay committed. I had to go to work. I had to do things that I didn't like, although it was uncomfortable for me. That was a big deal for me. I was a little spoiled little kid. I would be like, I don't like doing this, so I'm not. I'll get a new job. I didn't like an aspect of it, so I'm not going to work, right? I had to learn the hard way. You have to learn to do things that you don't like doing. That's what adulting is, right? It took me an excess of 10 years past the adult point, past 17, 18, to start to learn that there's a concept called adulting that I need to participate in. And addiction kept me in the childish like ways through arrested development. And I used my grief and my pain as an umbrella policy to shield me against responsibility, and I was full of shit, and I had to have accountability, stop blaming people for shit, and take responsibility. Oh, I'm so upset my girlfriend broke up with me. Yeah, but it took her 7 years and you was drinking the whole time being an asshole. She was compassionate. She should have left you the first day. You should be thanking her. You should apologize. You should stop bitching to people about it because you was wrong. Accountability. I'm upset my dad died, so I drink. That's bullshit. You're gonna punish your dad for being bad to your family by drinking in his memory because he died. What a way to honor dad, Pop. How is that for being kind and loving your dad, right? Grow up. My dad would have kicked my ass too. He would have been like, well, I ain't no chump. First of all, I told you don't be crying. Because he was like, not toxic masculinity, but he was like, you don't be out here crying. He's an old Brooklyn dude. My dad got drunk, banged up 13 cars. I'm talking about bang, 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 zoo, boom, car flip over, boom. We're all in the car. It was a big crazy. My childhood was crazy. And I remember I knew he was going to do something. We was going to see a Mike Tyson fight in the 90s, right? I was like, oh shit, dad's drunk and he's angry now. My dad wasn't like a dirty drunk. He wasn't one of those nasty drunks. Now, I don't care about y'all in the recovery community. We're going to call a spade a spade. We know there's different type of drunks. You got the chill drunks, the people who just get drunk and smile and lay down. You get the violent drunks, the ones who want to fight. You get the emotional drunks, the ones who want to cry. You get the horny drunks, the ones who want to hump the cat, the dog, and the sheep. And then you got the nasty drunks, the people who just want to be hurtful and say nasty shit and fight with everybody and be assholes. My dad wasn't that, right? I know many of people who's like that. And I had that tendency too. So I was kind of a nasty drunk when I got really pissed off. Like I would bleed into a person and I would say some hurtful shit just to say it because I felt like it. I'm not like that by nature, but that's some of the stupid shit addiction brings out of me, right? My dad wasn't a nasty drunk. He was a chill drunk. He was not a drunk. That's a bad. I'm so old school, y'all. I'm an old school Brooklyn cat. I don't have all of the new polish, like woke terms for some of this stuff. But you know who does? My guy. What's my guy name? He was on Sober as Dope. Ah, come on. Macaulay Sexton. Yo, Macaulay, we got to bring you on an episode of Sober's Dope so you could clean up and modernize my lingo, because calling people drunks in 2024 and 2025 is terrible. But, I was a drunk. I got drunk. So here we go. My dad was the chill type. He was the type that I'd go to sleep. He'll sleep with like kind of one eye open and he'll listen to his calypso music. He never really got crazy, but he was tough. Like he was like a bear. He'll go, I am the king. And he'll do this pounding shit. Me, I look like, like I'm like a watered down domesticated lion that lives in a fancy zoo. My dad was like Mustafa in the jungle. So he'd be like, I am the king. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, you could hear this for like a block away. He'll pound on his chest and stomp. Like he was like this tribal West Indian dude who was mad big and brawly. He looked like me, but just like, ah. And he would do that. So I knew we was in trouble this day. I'm gonna wrap it up here, y'all. I don't know why I'm having so much fun telling these stories, but here we go. So dad, I knew he was in trouble because he somehow got pissed. And he was stewing and he was drunk, but he was silent drunk. Like he just got up and was like, we're going to see the Mike Tyson fight. So he took he took my brother B, my younger brother Jacob, and myself, Joseph, right? Pop. He took 3 of us. Now, my dad was a street dude. He had his little guns in the car and all of that shit. Like he had a bunch of guns in the car, and he had he had a ruby red Cadillac. No, Lincoln Continental. We had Lincoln Continentals and Cadillacs. That was his car, the long ones, the Brohans and all that. So I'm like, all right, we going to see Tyson and all that. It was bad funny, but somebody pissed my dad off. I think my mom or somebody. My mom probably tried to check him. So my mom was like the oracle. She would tell him, yo, you're going to get in an accident. Don't go out. What happened? We get into an accident, right? And I remember them having this little exchange. So we get in the elevator. This how I know shit was about to go down. Dad had his trench coat inside out. I was like, oh, he got the coat on inside out. So the elevator's mad quiet. Yo, he kicks the elevator door and he goes, I am the king. And he does it all the way from the 6th floor to the 1st floor. Now, we get to the 1st floor. We all like, okay. I don't know why the hell we got in the car, mainly because we were scared. We would have been scared at that point. So he's like, shut up and get in the car. I already knew it was going down. So we get in the car. He's quiet. And he's just staring, right, at the light. So the light's red. We're halfway in the middle of the block. As soon as the light turns green, he guns it and goes straight. And I'm like, yo, this doesn't look good because he has a big car. So he goes straight. And for some reason, someone comes this way and hits us. And we go into the next block, which is New York Avenue. Boom, we just crash. So that's cool. We crash. Bomb. You would figure we get out the car, whatever. Yo, we hit some crazy dude's car. These guys get out the car, 4 guys. They pissed. I don't know if they got a gun on them or whatever. This is Brooklyn, 1989, 90 is no joke, right? All right. We look, my dad looked. Yo, my dad gets back in the car. He packs it up and then he guns it down New York Avenue, then tries to make a right down St. Mark's, and then he hits the next car, backs up, tries to drive again, and hits another car, backs up, because he's trying to get a clear straight, but he's drunk. And when he was able to gun it again, he goes all the way down the block, and another car hits us, and we crash and kind of flip over on the other side of the block. None of us are injured miraculously. God blesses us. Now, Cops is already chasing us. They already halfway, like, I think between the guys and the cops, he's already trying to get out of the situation. But we had guns in the car, long story short. So what happened was my brother B had to take the gun and he started running to the house. My mom is already running outside because she could hear all of these cars getting hit. And I'm sitting there the whole time crying, Dad, Dad, no, Dad, Dad. I was super fixated on my dad's safety, not my little brother's safety, not my older brother's safety, just my hero's safety, right? I'm like, that. Now, look, I'm not telling y'all this to hate my dad. He's the sweetest man in the world. He had a bad day. He wasn't always, he never did this again. He never was bad to us. He never hit us. He beat our asses if we acted stupid, but he was a sweet man. And may he rest in peace. He died of a heart attack of natural causes in his house. He's a good man. I'm not vilifying the great Rocky V. I know I love my dad, but it was just a wild day. This is just a normal childhood day for somebody who's dealing with a parent that may have had too much to drink. It could have been worse. Somebody could have died. Long story short, so the detectives come and they try to get my dad. My brother knocks out one of the detectives, grab the guns and run, right? The detectives go try to find the guns or whatever he ran with, and we hit it with a neighbor, and it was all of this stuff. They lock up my brother and my dad. My mom has to go down there with her rosary beads and all of that, and she pleads with them to let him come home because she has a son that's a Roman Catholic priest that's in training. He's in the seminary. We're Catholics. We're well known in the neighborhood. My dad had a bad day, and my mom was like, if you release him to me, I'll make sure he gets good. It was a question of the man was drinking. Can he get sober? It was kind of an old school thing. The cops didn't make that much big of a deal that he banged up all these cars, hit a cop, and ran off with guns. It was just like, whatever. Whether he had a case pending or not, I don't remember how. My dad was very influential, so somehow that case kind of went away. I don't know how. But what's the moral of the story? Don't drink and drive, folks. Now, my dad being a happy, kind of chill person that would drink and have these episodes gave me a lot of insights on how important it is to go sit sometime. All right. So that's what that is. So when we talk about go sit, my old dad needed to go sit. He didn't need to get in the car and drive. He didn't need to fight, and he didn't need to run. And you know what the moral of the story was? My dad, he never apologized. He never said anything about it. You know what he said the next day when he came home? He said, next time we get into some shit like that, don't scream like a little girl. And I said, you got it. You got it. I was just happy that he was all right. He came home. It was a bad night. It was dark. I was just like super emotionally tired. I always tell you guys, one of my biggest fears was my dad dying. I had to confront that. When this happened, I was probably 12, well, 10, 11. My dad died when I was around 12 or 13. So about 2 years later, he dies. You know? Whew. So now, was it fair to my father and how much I loved him to use his death as an excuse to drink? No, it's not. Is the responsible thing to do maybe is to get help for my pain and my trauma and the grief and the mental health aspects of my dad dying? Yes. So why did I tell you all of that? This is a lesson that you'll never forget because you'll always remember that story. My dad always loved me. He told me, do not cry. You know, when shit hits the fan, don't try to man up. And that's what I needed to do in my recovery. I needed to man up, adult. Okay, like not to be sexist or alienating and to be kind of like modern with it. I needed to adult. I needed to do some adulting. And I did not need to use the grief from losing a girlfriend, from losing my dad, and from losing a business, and from my brother going to jail, and from me having these issues to drink like a madman. But I didn't have a Sober is Dope book. I didn't have podcasts to listen to at 18. I didn't know about Alcoholic Anonymous because no one in my life was going to it. It was something that was very like clandestine in our neighborhood. It was like this secret place people went who had these issues, and you would see them have these meetings, and no one really identified what that is, the importance of it. And you will always look at them as outsiders, like that's them, those people with the problem. Meanwhile, you got the drink in your hand. You know how many people I see that needs to be that are professional alcoholics that say, "Oh, I'm functional. I'm not them." And you're alcoholic. You need help. You're destroying your family. You're fighting with people. You're disruptive. You can't save money. You're a pain in the ass. You struggling, but you is them. They need the help, not me. It's not. You see what I'm saying? If you're someone out there that has a problem with addiction and you don't think you have a problem with addiction, ask the people around you, do they think you have a problem with addiction? And please be genuine enough not to judge them for giving you an honest answer. You will find that people who are not afraid of you will tell you, hell yeah, you need to get some help. We would love to see a sober version of you because life is unmanageable with you in it as a person that utilizes substances on a regular basis. Okay. With all of that said, there's wisdom in that, so unpack it. Moving along. Sober holidays. What are we talking about? What are we doing? Why are they important? Okay?
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat, or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
You want me to bring it all home for y'all? Y'all ready? If I don't have my ducks in a row around Christmas time, I'll start to think about my dad. Around September, his birthday, September 11th, I start getting depressed. By my birthday, I have to do a lot of soul searching, right? Around Christmas time, I miss my brother because that's my brother, right? We used to be altar boys together. I looked up to him. He's my older brother. Where is he? I have to prepare now, after Halloween, after we take off the mask and the alien mask and the candy. We got to say, Thanksgiving is coming up. Let me reevaluate my gratitude. Why am I happy now? So come Thanksgiving, I know what I'm fighting for when I'm at that family party and I have to tell people, you know damn well I'm sober. Stop offering me that drink, uncle. You know I'm sober. Put away that weed, cousin. Hey, you know. Put away that. Get that line off the table. You know I'm sober. Put them pills away. You need to be prepared in advance. So how do you get prepared? You start celebrating prior. You start projecting. I want you to look at your Thanksgiving. Look at your Christmas. Construct it. Where are you going this year? We got to start writing it down today. When you listen to this episode, I want you to grab a pen and a paper and say, I'm going to schedule my Thanksgiving day, my Thanksgiving week, my Black Friday, how I'm spending my Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, what I'm going to be doing on New Year's Day, where am I going to be, how am I having it? Maybe you need to host a sober holiday season this year. You're coming by my house. If you're coming, no alcohol, buddy. I don't care if you got 2 people. You're going to have a happy holiday, right? Going somewhere where you have to fight for your sobriety because people really don't care. They're going to have their drinks and say, that a boy, that a girl, you're doing the sober thing. Here, pass me a double scotch, right? And you got to sit there and you're new in recovery and you don't know what's going on. You're going to relapse, man. You can't play the Sober is Dope podcast when you get to the party. It's going to be too late, you know? Plan now. Take notes now. Let's prepare now. This episode is going to be called Sober New Year's, how to prepare for the holiday seasons in advance, right? Now, to the good part. Let's do a little mini unboxing of the new book. All right, I'm excited. All right. So this is my proof copy, right? It drops on Amazon November 1st. Only you guys are gonna know it. I'm not gonna advertise it on social media. So you're gonna have first dibs. So if you're listening to this and you watch it and you love me, go get your copy, pre-order it, or just go to Amazon. You're gonna type in Pop Buchanan Sober New Year's. It's gonna come up. I don't have to leave a link. I'm not leaving a link in this episode. You're gonna have to go search for it. All right, y'all ready? I'm very happy. I'm very proud of this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ta-da! This is the new book, baby. Sober New Year's, how to use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober by Pop Buchanan. You see how you got you're breaking free from the chains of addiction. And it's specific, sober New Year's, like New Year's resolutions, how to use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober, but to also find lasting recovery, right? This is the back. Got a really cool picture of me, man. See? I'm mad excited. All right. This book took literally a year and a half to do, 2 years to a year and a half to do. I love this book. Look. Now we got the set, baby. With these 2 books, you can't go wrong, guys. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. If you got this, you have the hardcore spiritualism and you have the real universal. How this book is for everyone. Yeah, it's no religious overtone in here. It's nothing that can alienate you in here. It's not telling you have to go to AA, you have to do this. This is a general book for everyone, whether you're a gambling addiction, whether you have food addiction, whether you're a family member of someone. This is the perfect Christmas gift to give someone in your life. It's non-threatening, and it's like, hey, I want you to really have a sober New Year's. It's about a mindset. And remember what I said, around Valentine's Day, you start thinking about a drink. Won't this book remind you of your resolutions and why it's important? That's why I wanted to do this. I'm going to tell y'all a real quick story about this, all right? We're going to put this here. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story about this. I'm the author of Sober is Dope, all right? So people online, they make resolutions around Christmas and New Year's, and the book sales go through the roof, right? 300, 400 copies every Christmas. Around summertime, 1 copy here, 1 copy there. Why? Because people lose focus on their resolutions. That's why I wanted to create a reminder, something that you could keep on your nightstand that you could always remember. Wait a minute. It's Valentine's Day. I got a hot date tonight and I want to take off some steam. Maybe I could have 1 drink. Nah. New Year's was too important to me. I made a resolution. I recommitted to my sobriety. I'm going to stick with it. Right. And I want you all to understand the importance of that. I want you all to understand why I made this. This was a definite necessity, whether you understand why it's going to be a necessity. If you're in addiction, if you have 50 years in recovery, or if you have 1 day. If you have a family member that's in recovery, this book is for you. If you're dealing with that, this book is going to help you understand both addiction. It's going to tell you how to get sober. It's going to give you ways to avoid relapse. It's going to give you over 300 tips. It's going to have mental health tips. It's going to have everything you need. It has affirmations also. It has universal healing power prayers, meaning that there's no mention of God, no mention of no dogma. It's just universal. You could say higher power prayers, right? Just to a higher power, not nothing. I'm not forcing any religious overtone on you. All right, now I want to read the back of this so we could get some. I'm excited, y'all. We did it. This is big. I couldn't do this if I was drinking. This is big, man. Look how beautiful it looks on the inside. This thing is gorgeous, man. This book is absolutely gorgeous. It's big. Look at that. 100 tips to stay motivated. Oh, sorry, that's the receipt. Look at that. Sober New Year's. Special dedications. Y'all gonna like the dedications. Look at that. Can y'all read the dedication? All right, let's read the back. Sober New Year's, how to use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober is your ultimate guide to turning resolutions into lasting recovery. written by Pop Buchanan, me, founder of Sober is Dope, and 12 plus years sober. This transformative book gives you the tools to break free from addiction, stay motivated, and thrive in sobriety, right? Thrive. So it gives you the tools to break free, but if you're also in active recovery, to thrive. Discover powerful strategies, including how to sober up step by step, the secret to using New Year's resolutions for lasting long-term recovery, relapse prevention tools and why triggers matter, how accountability partners strengthen your journey, motivation hacks to avoid procrastination, celebrating milestones and staying on track, and affirmations and prayers for inner strength. Don't wait for a crisis. Start your sober journey today and make this year your best yet. Whether you're taking your first step or staying committed to recovery, Sober New Year's empowers you to build a life filled with clarity, growth, and lasting change. All right, this boy and is published by Sober is Dope. All right, so we have Sober is Dope Publishing now. So if you're someone out there that's in recovery and you want to write a book, I can help you write a book from soup to nuts. Right, I can help you format. I can help you with artwork. I can help you get your ISBN numbers. I can help you brand it, and I can also help you edit and come up with content. Right, I specialize in that. This is my third book, my fifth book. Some of my other books are art books, but we have Invest AI, Sober is Dope, and now Sober New Year's, right? I'm very proud. Where's my Invest AI book? Nobody bought Invest AI, by the way. There's like, you tried it, Pop. We don't believe that you're an investment guru. I was like, whatever. All right. So, Sober New Year's. This is it, y'all. All right. So get the book. So I will put the pre-order link, but listen, it drops tomorrow on Amazon. So you're going to be able to get it. Same price as Sober is Dope, $21.99. And listen, I make all my books $20 and up. You know why? I don't want anyone buying a book and playing with it. When you spend $20 on something, you're going to value it, right? You spend $5 or $10. It's not an ebook. This is not an ebook. This is wisdom for the ages. These books is going to be legendary one day because they came from the heart and they really worked. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times I was in a dark place and just needed a prayer, and I'm like, yo, I need something. I need some God, and I just able to open up Sober is Dope. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go through the table of contents, and that's about it. All right, so you guys, sorry, let me just dap myself. I'm gonna go through the table of contents, and we're gonna wrap this episode. But you, was part of the initial unboxing, I had to do it with the Sober is Dope community. I love you guys, man. This is why I do this. I've been working on this book while I was building Meta is Dope. I relaunched my music career. I was going through my health struggles. I wrote this book with MCS, which is multiple chemical sensitivity. I've been going through a lot of pain in my life with my nose, man. I can't process smells. I have to isolate myself. I can't go out. I can't be around colognes or perfumes, detergents, air sprays for breezes. I got to use special soaps. Ever since I got COVID, my life changed, man. And some people, they lost their sense of smell. My sense of smell became superpowered. So I could smell anything. And because of that sensitivity, it makes it very unmanageable sometimes to just live a normal life. I wrote this book through all of that, okay? And that's why it's so important to me, man. So I'm going to read the table of contents and we're going to wrap this episode up. But first thing first, I want to read the dedications, okay? So first thing first, dedications. I dedicate this book to the memory of our team, Lynn Ferguson, my Uncle Lynn, who passed away 2 years ago. Rest in peace. His death was non-recovery related, but I love you, Uncle Lynn, and I hope you're proud of me, because he was proud. My Uncle Lynn was proud of two things. He was proud that I was one of the first people in the family that found the strength to kick their addiction. And he was also proud that I quit cigarettes. And that was one of the things that eventually caused him difficulty in his advanced years. And he used to always say it, like years before he passed away, he'd be like, man, I just wish I could kick these cigarettes. And he thought I was so courageous for just kicking cigarettes. Like, he was like, the alcohol is cool. I knew you could do that, puppy. He called me puppy. Like, puppy, hey, puppy, hey, puppy. All right, now, Uncle Lynn, all right, puppy. But he said, them cigarettes, puppy. Oh, man, them cigarettes, puppy. I don't know how you did it, but I wish I could. So I love you, Uncle Lynn. This is for you. All right. Quinn Cantrell McCusker, rest in peace. All right. This is Liz M's son who passed away from overdose, and he was a great kid. Okay. A great man, a great young man. And he's greatly missed. And his mother is she runs a Nantucket charity, and she's one of the most amazing people. And I will bring her on this episode to talk about her foundation and her son, Quinn Cantrell McCusker. All right, Eric Riaz, Big Mood Coach. Shout out to the Big Mood Coach. All right, Big Mood Coach was a big podcaster, lost his battle with addiction. He relapsed, and he was dealing with a lot of mental health. He leaves behind a son, a family, a mom and dad, and a bunch of friends like myself. He was part of the Brothers in Recovery. So, Big Mood Coach Eric Riaz, this book is devoted to you and dedicated to you. All right. Brick Jones, Kevin Birdsong. Kevin Birdsong was my first manager, my mentor, and one of my older brothers that I grew up on my block in Brooklyn with. He was also the founder of Sankofa Radio, and he was one of the producers of the famous songs "You Want to Flex," Das Effects. "You Want to Flex," Das Effects. That's Kevin Birdsong. Rest in peace, Kev. I did it, and I'm still gonna help Dee Dee publish your book. I didn't forget. I'm gonna contact your brother and your family to get your book done. All right, Matthew Perry, rest in peace. We got to shout out Matthew Perry. The ketamine shit was some dumb shit. And I wish him best, because he was just a sweetheart, and he did a lot for the recovery community before he died with his vulnerability and stuff, right? Martin Lapid from Serenities. Martin lost his life through suicide about 3 to 4 years ago. He was the founder of a really popular t-shirt line, Serenities. And Martin was the sweetest guy in the world. I just wish I could go back to that hotel room and get him before he passed. He is such a sweet soul. He was like a gentle soul. I don't understand it. It pisses me off. But we all deal with this darkness in ourselves, right? And that's why I write all of this stuff. You understand why I write the spiritual stuff, guys? And this is the other stuff, the universal stuff, because without these tools, sometimes we could lose the fight with mental health and we die, right? You never know what's going to help you. All right, Michael K. Williams, the actor, Chucky White, Boardwalk Empire, The Wire. Michael K. Williams, a fellow Brooklynite, died of overdose from fentanyl laced in the cocaine. And the fentanyl crisis is out of control. So I hope putting his name and Matthew Perry's name and these guys' names bring awareness, right? That's why I want you to go get this book. It's not just about me. This book is going to carry the name of some legends, man, and it's real. Okay. And last but certainly not least, this is one of my really close friends, one of my sober pop friends. And I love her dearly, Brooke. Okay, the sober biz lady, Brooke. Her brother passed away. All right, and she always makes me emotional. It's always emotional thinking about Brooke and her brother Henry, because she cries when she hears the song that I wrote, Dear Addicts. And she's like, it just makes me think about my brother. Like, how I say it gets better. The love for mothers with your hard weather. We survive near death and pain. I promise, try hard. We can escape the pain together. Maybe we can heal the scars and go deep inside and be with God. Just forgive yourself first and go deep within. Get sober for yourself and get clean from sin. I was sober 8 years and my life is new. If I can, you can. I was just like you. All right. So that makes her cry, because you can't bring back your loved ones, man. They only can exist in your heart until you go to God and you see them again. So this book is absolutely dedicated to the great and late Henry James Wines, or Weens, as Wines or Weens, Wiens, Henry James Weens or Wines, rest in peace. And to all those who have lost their lives in a battle against addiction, overdose, and poisoning, your stories remind us of the importance of compassion, resilience, and an ongoing fight for recovery. You are never forgotten. Sober New Year's. If you don't get it together this year, you may not make it this year. A lot of good people died in 2024 playing around with second chances. Say it again. A lot of good people died in 2024 playing around with second chances.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox, clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Hit pause on whatever you're listening to and hit play on your next adventure. Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
All right, table of contents, and we're wrapping this. All right, I'm done. I'm going to chill out. I hope my football game I won because I was playing FanDuel. I need to go to FanDuel Anonymous, Sportsbook Anonymous. All right, here we go. This book can be the content. So I'm reading the content. So before you guys go, you understand where I'm at with you. This is next level. All right. This book can be read in any order. So feel free to choose a topic that resonates with you and start there. Dedications about the author, no matter what. The poem. All right. I wrote a poem called No Matter What and an essay called a blurb called No Matter What. It was my way of connecting with you outside of the book and the verbiage and the bullshit that we gotta go through to get a point across. If no matter what, read No Matter What. Okay? Because no matter what, that's me from Pop to you. That's from someone who been there to you. That's from us. You get that in here. I'll read that in another episode. I'm going to say that's for you, no matter what. But it's a poem. No matter what. All right. Sober New Year's. Page 1. How I benefited from sobriety. The benefits of being clean and sober. I figured that's important. If I'm trying to convince someone that's in recovery, don't give up. Don't relapse. Don't throw in a towel. Look at my benefits after 12 years, right? Right? If I was trying to talk to somebody who's in active addiction and say, well, if you think sobriety is bad, look at how I benefited, right? I wish I did that in here. I did it in a indirect way, but this is a direct how I benefited from my mouth to your heart. Understanding addiction, because sometimes we have to understand what the hell's going on. Now, this is one of the most important chapters because I didn't even understand what I was going through when I was addicted. Why do I need to keep waking up drinking? Why I'm the only one in my family with this problem? Why can't I live a normal life? Why I have to wake up and drink just to feel good? What's going on in my brain? I knew none of that stuff. I just went through the motions like a robot. I got to get up and drink because it makes me feel good. I got to get up and drink because I'm depressed. And I just did that for years. So understanding addiction is paramount into finding lasting recovery. How to sober up, a realistic step-by-step guide, the power of New Year's resolutions, the power of positive resolutions in sobriety, right? How to have a positive resolution like every year. This is going to be the year where I use my sobriety to start 3 businesses and make $50 million. That's a positive resolution in sobriety, right? Let's start saying it. Let's start getting now. How to use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not, you could have 20 years and say, Pop, I'm clean and sober. I don't need your book. Yes. How do you use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober? But how do you use New Year's resolutions? Can we take it up a notch? Can we get a bigger house this year and set up a production company and expand our company to Singapore? Can we start 15 charities and raise $50 million to save somebody that's dealing with addiction this year? We played small ball in 2024, but how can I use New Year's resolutions to stay clean and sober and level up my life, right? So that brings us to the power of positive resolutions for sobriety. Finding and keeping motivation on your sobriety journey. Now, look, we've run out of ways to stay creative. This book helps you find creative ways to stay creative on your recovery journey. Stop procrastinating and begin your sober journey today. Increase self-confidence and banish self-doubt. The power of positivity in transforming your life. 100 tips to stay motivated on your journey to sobriety, the importance of accountability partners, overcoming common obstacles, surviving holidays, birthdays, Valentine's days, and special occasions, sober affirmations for your journey, sober prayers, powerful universal prayers for strength and healing. Remember, I kept my promise. They're very universal. Pop Buchanan's top tools for personal transformation, part two, reflections, no matter what conclusion, and national recovery resources. Now, that's one thing I left out of the first book. If you're someone that's struggling or you're a family member who buys someone this book, this is something that you're going to get in the back. It's national recovery resources. And I'm talking about everything from substance abuse and mental health services, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, National Domestic Violence Hotline, National Alliance of Mental Health, Crisis Text Hotline, the text numbers. You could text these. These are all current. Do you need help looking for therapy alternatives? The National Drug Helpline, Teen Suicide Help, Addiction Support Groups, some AA, Meeting Locator, Narcotics Anonymous, Smart Recovery, National Addiction Hotlines, Treatment Centers, additional resources, Eating Disorders, National Alliance for Eating Disorders, Helpline. Feast provides support and educational resources to parents and caregivers of loved one impacted by eating disorders. The LGBTQ plus national hotline, Veterans Administration, mental health services, Sex Addicts Anonymous, gambling addiction, and podcast resources. Okay, this is the book, right? You get these two books together, you're going to start your New Year's off right. And this is for people who really tired of addiction or you want to shake up your recovery, man. You're in recovery and deep. Look, this book is for you if you're in recovery and I'm not going to bullshit you. If you deep down starting to really think about, I really want to drink or what it would be like to have one drink and I just miss life when I wish I'm bored and all of this stuff and you're not happy in recovery and you're not solid in recovery, sober New Year's. Let's start our resolutions off right and cement our recovery and restart our journey. Set that clock back off to the races. You're listening to the Sober is Dope podcast. I'm your host, Pop Buchanan, and we back, baby, in full effect. How your boy looking? This is what sobriety does. I lost 50 pounds. Last time I spoke to y'all, I lost 40 pounds. I'm down another 10. All right? Because I work out, I'm fasting, I'm doing the work. Now it's just like, now, if I come back, now I ain't going to say that. I was going to say if I come, all right, you're listening to Sober's Dope. I love you all, man. This was supposed to be a short episode, but I had to do the unboxing for y'all. Listen, man, go back. And when I put this back in there and I do the fake unboxing on Instagram, don't be like, he already did the unboxing. This is for y'all. But when I do it for the world, then, you'll already have the book. And I want y'all to support me with this. And remember, you buy the Sober is Dope book, you get a ticket to the Sober is podcast to come on this podcast and tell your story. All right. And if you're a family member that's dealing with a family member or loved one that's struggling with addiction and you buy this for them as a gift, I want you to inbox me on Sober is Dope, Instagram at Sober is Dope. Pop, I bought your book. I bought it for my nephew, my niece, my cousin, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my friends, my brothers, whoever. And I want to come on your podcast and give advice to families who's dealing with the same thing. And we could talk about it. 90% of what we do in 2025 is talking about our loved ones and how they process our addictive behaviors. And we could shed light on it. I think that will help people that's in addiction get their shit together because we don't really like hurting the ones we love. We're addicted. And addiction is something that we can't control without intervention. Okay, higher power intervention, love, miracles, luck, second chances. All right, you listen to Sober is Dope. Thank you for joining me today. The next time I'll be joining you is before Thanksgiving. Oh, well, maybe I'll do. No, I said I'll do one every week. So we'll come on. Maybe I'll bring a guest on for the next podcast, shake it up a bit. So I love you all. Go in peace. Go by the episode. Listen, you could Google. No, go to Amazon. I'm going to do it with you right now, right? I'm going to go to Amazon. Let's just try it out. I'm going to see if it's up. So we could do this, right? I'm going to Google. I'm typing in Sober New Year's book. It's up, baby. It's on Walmart. It dropped, baby. It's after 12 o'clock. We up, baby. Sober New Year's, baby. Come on, guys. Oh, that sucked. Anyway, Sober New Year's, man. It's here. The book is up. So you could just type in Sober New Year's book. We on, baby. That's crazy. The light is messing it up like that. Anyway, it's there. I'm so excited. I'm so proud. Oh, God. All right. This is it. It's live. So go get a copy and join me. Do your Prime so your book can get there in 5 days. So you do Prime, it gets there fast. Let's blow it up online. Come on, man. I'm seeing these other people who don't even that they putting out these books. Like, but these are what people are doing now. They're finding that sobriety is a niche subject. So they're writing a book about recovery. They're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars behind it. They're getting all these reviews and stuff. And the real people like me in the community that really lives it and come out every day for you guys do it. And we got in 1 year, I got 30 reviews. Some of them are bad reviews. I'm like, what are y'all doing? You guys know how hard we work for this. And you know I'm coming from the heart. Either someone in the community is trying to sabotage or it's not enough love. You all guys are enough. It's 200,000 listens. We should be blowing these books up, man. It all goes back to the podcast and stuff, and it all goes back to writing more. Help me blow this up. This is the year. Sober is dope. Sober New Year's. This is the book. I'm running with this. This is the mission. We're going to try to get 1 million people sober in 2025 with this book. Help me be part of the mission. Come on. I'm going to help you. I'm bringing you on the podcast. We can talk about whatever you got going on, promote your stuff, your books, talk to your family members. You could bring them on. Let's get interactive this year, right? I'm not doing Sober is Dope again without you guys. I want you. It's your podcast now. If you've ever been a long-term fan, if you listen, don't worry about it. And I'm not going to make it deep. We're not going to do videos and all of that. It's going to be audio. I'm just going to get y'all on the Zoom. We're going to talk. I'm not editing. I'm not doing intros. We're just publishing. We're telling you stories. Episode 395, Cynthia from Newark wants to talk about how bananas and cream pie helped her stay sober. We going in. It's going to be like, let's get everyone's perspective this year. All right. I love you all. Go in peace, and I'll catch you. You said it on the other side. Peace.